Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, hero of sight, defender of the fatherland, off into a glorious 1v1 on Mill Road, north of the seas, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 11th Panzer Division in south, it is Angreifen, fighting for the Red Army of the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin, and the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps here with Guard Motor, Defensive Tactics and Airborne Troop Tactics, Spearhead right away here with Mortar Half Techs, Panzer Tactician, Reconzo Flights, Fragmentation Bombs, and Tiger Tanks. Also, a quick apology, basically about today's episode because it's going to go up later. On some ultimate notice, not the previous one went up. But either way, though, basically my recording program decided, you know what? You don't have a microphone, set up for this, except of course it did previously, so just randomly decided that, didn't tell me, and then you found out when the episode went up and there was no audio on it, specifically there's no voice track on it, so yeah. Bit of a shorter episode, I can just quickly get this banged up, still would be a pretty good one though, so anyways, off we are to the races. Always, big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters, wonderful people on all. Other people enjoy thanks by Patreon, they can donate via PayPal, links in the description, and consider pre-ordering companies if you're going to do that. By the link in the comments, use the CoH2 3G. So, commercial messages out of the way there. We got Guard Motor for Angreifen with T-3035s, heavy mortars, Guards Rifle Infantry, vehicle crew repair training, and marked vehicle. Got a western push here by Frog with Grenades MD42, that is Caesar. I don't know why I decided to call him Frog out of nowhere. MD-14 against the engineers here with some fuel point catches Angreifen's troops here in a bit of a compromising position with the MD-42. But as you might notice, the MD-42 didn't just shoot like several seconds. There's a bit of a back there is for the MD-42. Is sometimes, it typically more happens at the edge of its arc of fire, but sometimes it just doesn't pick up on a target. Which is definitely not very fun. And I suspect there's actually part of the reason why we're seeing more players just go for heavy grenadier builds. Not the driving reason, but I think it's a part of the reason, again, for some players, because, again, not really much fun in having a crucial MD-42 just stare at the enemy. Again, it doesn't do this consistently either, but it does do it to enough point that, it can be annoying. But there you go. Hit the fuel point messing a bit here with Angreifen fuel economy. Engineers inside the sniper is finding the entire thing collapsing pretty rapidly under the MD-42's high, rapid, intense fire. And these side here trying to push forward to the sandbags about wide, but making the push here for these to the fuel pod. But Caesar's only got a few grenadiers and Pioneer squad to hold up against Angreifen's Marxist assault here. I think he tactically makes the air split his forces too quickly, allowing his Caesar to push them down and focus them down. West side here, nice flank at the MD-42 here. Bit of a tricky position for Caesar to set up this kind of pin around the fuel point due to the terrain here. Make it hard to just lock down with an MD-42 or any machine gun. So 3rd Grenadier Squad here for Caesar. 3 conscripts there for Angreifen. Standard so built in this case. Pioneers as the front of it. Pioneers there being ripped apart. Up north here, we got Angreifen pushing forwards here, though he may of course want to grab that fuel point in the process as well. He could also consider laying down some mines around here. Tech on the way there for Caesar and the German army in the south here. Grenadiers and engineers all clashing out here. The engineers ultimately will come here by the 3rd Reich. And it's hardened soldiers of the 11th Panzer Division. Ground western point here. Strict for the cut-off point there. Angreifen swinging hard against Caesar here. His initial pin there backfired, and now it's Angreifen that's on his doorstep. Attack almost down there for Caesar though. Guessing a swift armored car here to deploy some motorized menace here against Angreifen the Red Army. Both players here going at it fairly aggressively so far. Fairly aggressively. Engineers being forwards here. Conscript backing up, and the medics sort of trying to catch up. Hey, get back here! Your spleen is hanging out! Do I need it? Well, maybe. What do I look like? A doctor? Oh, kinda. Continues the advancing constant flame for engineers here, quickly gaining the grenadiers here. Pushing back there, Caesar's men. Up north here, constant there by the center victory point here up north. Caesar with a pretty bullish MD-42 on the flanks there. And you see push back by the conscripts. Like to make a nice company up that will very likely be a 2-2 as soon as you can. Then adding in a Panzer Grenadier squad first, I think, could help a lot with these conscripts, as they can be fairly overwhelmed there by the mighty Panzer Grenadiers and the Sturmgewehr 44. Counter there done with the sandbags, right next to a dead cow. Pioneering up with the Flammenwerfer. Interesting choice here by Caesar, because against the Soviets, you typically want minesweepers, because the average player will lay down a lot of mines. This is where you could practice any one of those, lifetime statistics. In the average Soviet player's lifespan, they will lay down a few million mines. That is why you should always bring minesweepers around Soviets. But yeah. Typically then, going for a flamethrower, the Wehrmacht with only one pioneer squad is practically in begging the Soviet player to start mining against you. In this case, though, Angreifen is laying up some other stuff. He's actually concerned about his opponent going for mines. Where the tank will be potentially rushed out there. Of course, got the support companies and go for the field guns eventually. Armoured car on the way there for Caesar. North, you flank around with the Grenadiers, namely 4-2 against the conscripts. Dimitri dropping direct there in the centre. In the southeast, conscripts ready to try and push for the fuel pump with the Frontline for Pioneer already. Armoured car right around the corner here for Caesar and the German army. The 2-2 like to punch wagon, which would eventually be phased out, sort of, I think, roughly halfway through the war by a variety of other armoured cars, like the 234, but also just 250 half-tracks being set up as armoured cars. Hell, by the end of the war, they've been using 251 half-tracks as armoured cars, and they basically just, slap the turret there with the 200 autocannon on them and just, go, yes, this is an armoured car. These are the conscripts there. We got guards from out there for Angreifen. Engineers there caught by the armoured car. And Dimitri there finding his face splattered right off there by the 2cm autocannon. No, not Dimitri's face! That's the only good thing about him. Mines, of course, is he there again, quickly causing great harm here to Caesar. And certainly, again, punishing me going for the flamethrower. Again, I can understand the limitation of flamethrowers against Soviets, but yeah, like, typically, that's like for something like, unless you have like another pioneer squad ready very quickly then with minesweepers, because otherwise, the Soviets can really make you regret not going for minesweepers. Really make you regret it. Armoured car being hauled back for repairs. Pack 40 on the way there. Bunker halfway done here. Caesar, of course, definitely in a need for aggressive pace here versus his Marxist opponent. Thiessen on the left, Angreifen on the Red Army. Conscript rush in the center, though. Note here, though, not fully reinforced here. Low on strength. Is he role-playing as Putin's army? I do not know. Though, joking aside, the Soviet army itself actually would also suffer from manpower issues by late 1944-45, and would actually suffer from understrength squads there as well, understrength, battalions, companies, whatever, all that sort of stuff there. But it's typically not something that's touched upon. It's just, this meme about, infinite manpower of Serbs. But the reality is, towards the end of World War II, even the Soviet army were struggling significantly with manpower issues. So, these in the south here, wire cutters, flamethrowers, mortar after. There's a nice choice here, an interesting choice, but these are the 250-7 mortar half-track. And again, as mentioned, they use this chassis then for armoured cars as well there, as this one. Thing is, just, four wheels is not great for off-road business. It's just, really only good for roads, which is, not necessarily where you want to be doing all of your reconnaissance. So the 2-2 there, while initially sort of decent, was quickly figured out to be not very good, and they sort of just would replace it again with heavy armoured cars with more wheels, or again with half-tracked armoured vehicles. So, fun fact there. Fun fact. Ground lesson point here. Mines here. Light machines out there for Caesar's men. Ground lesson point with the guardsmen. Yeah, the 250 half-track, like the 250 half-track chassis, would have been seen a variety of uses, for platforms. Like, again, mortar half-tracks, armoured cars, various, anti-tank elements that would lighter anti-tank guns. Even a version with the 75mm cannon like the Stug, E, for example. So, fun fact there. Up north here, push for the point here. Guardsmen there blocking off here. Caesar's northern advance here with the Grenadiers here. Western advance, I suppose. 3 squads versus 1 guardsman like cover, not looking great there for Angreifen's men. Thiessen is pushing up here on Caesar's right flank, with the Pack 40s being smashed down by the Engineers. Plus, we got Compton moving to flank here. Caesar's west push here. Pack 40 there versus the T-70. Thiessen definitely takes some heavy damage. Engineers right by the armored car pioneer combo. Now the conscript could be in a dangerous situation as the Germans look to flank them, but the Grenadiers are suffering heavily there in return. And there you go, that's going to be anti-tank grenades in the 2-2. Almost taking out there, but the mortar half-track lands these hit on the conscripts. In the south, the engineer, photo around the conscripts there. Heavy, fierce fighting here. Conscript charging the flame for here. Really bold there by Angreifen. I think he realizes that was perhaps too bold. Mortar half-track scores a few more kills here. Excellent there for Caesar. Less excellent there for Angreifen. At least he didn't suffer any wipes from it. And even then, there might be a wipe here from the gunner's in the retreat path. And there you go. Squad annihilated. Great kill there for Caesar. 2-2 unit repairs. 250-7 half-track. Looking pretty decent there. Rolling forwards towards the front line steadily. Panzergrenadier, thumbs up. And an H6M here for Angreifen. Oh my. Definitely not quite your average Soviet Wehrmacht match at this point. I mean, the commanders are, but the build orders like the Border half-track and now the H6M are definitely not the usual. Guards with the Grenadiers here, with no light machine guns and only light cover. This is looking like a reasonably fairly, beneficial fight for the Guardsmen. They might take some losses, but yeah, the Grenadiers I think can't last on. Then again, they just need to try to grab the fuel points, so they can't. Oh, actually does retreat there. Fortunate for Angreifen. East side Grenadiers bring up. H6M almost on there for Angreifen. 250-7 mortar half-tech just sitting back here. I feel like he could be slightly more active with it. I mean, one of the benefits of the mortar half-tech is it can also quickly get out of a bad situation, so it can be a bit more aggressive with it. Bit more. Not a lot more, but you can because you can just hightail out of there pretty quickly. Decent hit there. Giving Yevgeny there quite the headache. Can't push straight to the Panzergrenadiers here. Being ripped apart there by the assault rifle fire. Armoured covers the Guardsmen there. Pack 40 up in the T-70. And there we go. Wipe here on Angreifen. Consequently, a huge blow here to the Red Army. Great kill there for Caesar. And certainly highlighting the power of the Panzergrenadier. But the T-70 there proves its power as well. They're wrecking Caesar's armored car. The Pack 40 Tropic got the F6 Russian forwards. They're mortar half-tech hightailing back to the base here. Caesar's situation is quickly going from bad to really bad to Baden-Baden. Good hit on the Pack from Pack 40 and the T-70 almost got it. Can he finish it off here? That's going to help out Caesar quite a bit there, but no, the T-70 escapes. He's just beyond the range of the Pantherfaust, the Grenadiers. The assault gun backing off here. Counter-providing coming fire forward as well there. Back at base, what is going on there for Caesar? Nothing further as of yet. Pantherfaust and H6M assault gun. And the T-70 does go down here. Expecting a clear path, Caesar was ready with another Pantherfaust. Thumbs up there to Caesar in the end. Knocking out the Angreifen Caesar. Now Angreifen's suffered insane loss. He's lost so much infantry and in a light tank now. But he is going for more Guardsmen here, and certainly more Guardsmen could give Caesar definitely a bit of a tough time with more light machine guns. You typically don't see it, but more Guardsmen is actually quite good. There you go. Assault coming up. It can also bombard the M4 to close range here. Heavy firing around the car point here. Angreifen desperately trying to, clog up here Caesar's fuel economy, so at least he can't take advantage of all the losses inflicted on Angreifen to take ahead too fast here. Though he is taking up there. Assault gun behind the info 2 direct hit here on Jürgen. Almost got the entire crew there, but needs to pull back the H6M here. Pioneers pushing hard west here. I think he's going to make a direct push for the fuel point there and trying to similarly shut off Angreifen's fuel income. And Angreifen's going for another cheese in the light tank here. Angreifen is disabused of any notion right now they can get away with going for the Mechanized Armor Company. He's going to rely heavily on the Tank Retain Command here, which is definitely, I think, an interesting adaptation here from Angreifen. A player who, in the past, was not exactly known for being adapted to the changing battlefield situation, but by now has actually, I think, managed to incorporate this quite well into the style, because I think the average Soviet player at this stage would not even be remotely considering this, but Angreifen, meanwhile, is proving himself to be an incredibly fluid and I think fast-thinking Soviet player. Here's a 2 thumbs up. Of course, they may not quite work out, but I'm definitely liking what he's trying here. There's a Pomacop yet there for Caesar. Guards from here catching the Grenadiers. He's popping his men into the half-track, rolling it to the front line. In a rare sight of Soviet infantry mechanization, which the actual Soviet army actually lacked because they just didn't have enough trucks or half-tracks from that to go around. Hence, they had the Desantniki doctrine, which basically meant they just rode along in the tanks. Fun fact, by the way. Need to get these 6M out of there. Ultimate and get the half-track out of there before that gets turned into scrap metal there by the German anti-tank gunners. Guardsmen fling back here. Onto the catch and the other Grenadiers from the southern flank here. Quick Molotov, there we go. You can see their Caesar's quick to back off his Grenadiers. It's a Pomacop there for Caesar and the German army. Mortar after 7 kills, veterans 1 grenade. They're wiping one of Caesar's grenadiers here. Excellent kill there for Angreifen in the Red Army. This fight is quite something else. Assault gun there fixed up here. Quickly popping back into the half-track, it seems, with engineers, though. He could also send the half-track back to base, pick up the guardsmen, have them ride along in a half-track. I mean, that would be a lot of light machine guns and anti-tank rifles on the move. Replacing the lost grenadiers. Could also consider another Panzer Grenadier squad. Mildly disappointed he isn't, personally, but that's just that. Nothing wrong in getting more Grenadiers, of course, but, you know, I think there's also been an argument for going for more Panzer Grenadiers. Another bombardment here for the H6M. Half-Tech joining in, almost clearing out the MD-42 crew here. Reinforcement in there for the Guardsman pack at base. Could use conscripts to merge with them as well. Would make it cheaper and faster getting the Guardsman up to strength here. Oh, he has actually done it to some degree. Whoops, sorry about that hiccup. Panzer the M6M, Pack 40 shoots, whiffs on the shot. News was the Pioneers, Flamethrower versus Flamethrower. Panzer Grenadier rushing on the flank here. Mortar after getting pretty aggressive here. Panzer Grenadier gaining veterans 1. Good there for Caesar. Assault Gun opening Mortar half he's getting into a bit of safer position here. A shame for Caesar to throw that one away. As it's clearly doing him some good here versus Angreifen in the Red Army. But now that I think Angreifen can get away there with taking up for the Mechanized Armored Company, though arguably he could probably also just get away going for like an addition 6 or something like that. Almost got the machine gun here though with a mortar half track. Really good work with that one. Good, ready to fire. And unlike, you know, regular mortars barrages, the mortar half track actually fires more shots with it. So, you know, can definitely do some damage there if it hits. Thumbs up here, have to stay closer to allow Angreifen to reinforce the front line here. And again, I'm really liking this use of the half-track for that purpose. Pioneers, what? That's definitely going to hurt Caesar there as well. He is going for the Panther 4 though. And currently Angreifen on the Escalation 6 and the Guard to try and hold it. But again, using the half-track to reinforce his frontline units that way, giving him some frontline durability others lacks. And oh goodness, there's a Grenadier called Wiped. Fortunately for Caesar, Angreifen doesn't have any troops nearby that can pick up that lost MD-42. Of course, it also signals Caesar's lost another Grenadier squad. Big 2 points wise, it's pretty close between the two there. Maximum's reinforced here fully by the half track. Actually, get north instead for the glorious at that army. Yeah, most half tracks in the Soviet Union were pretty much just used for like transporting troops to the front line and elsewhere. Like they primarily just logistical units, since again they just did not have enough, like, you know, trucks and other things. They just handled regular logistics, just like today. But there you go, half rushing forwards here. There's the Panzer Grenadier, guards and they're pushed back. Needs to be busy with the Mechanized Armored Company of their Angreifen. Counter there with the light machine gun, since they have been upgraded to 7-man status, they can actually pick it up there. Blitz, they're being shot down there by the conscripts. Panther 4 pushing forwards here for Caesar and for Deutschland, shattering the walls over the shed. After they're close to Veterancy 2 already. Could do with some repairs. Can soon go for the T-34 from 6, or go for the T-3045. Fresh Pioneers out there for Caesar. Will he go for Manchester this time around? Certainly would recommend it a bit. Mission 6 landing good hit in the Panther 4 there. Watch back in the Panther 4, grab the center for the conscripts. Panther 4 there at the ready. Guardsmen slowly pushing forwards here, backed up at the Maxim. Mortar after there. Close to Veterancy 2, but also close-ish, but it's also close to death. And definitely going to need some repairs here. Certainly be a waste here for Caesar to throw it away. It's definitely, I think, proven to be quite helpful here in dealing with Angreifen at the moment. Quite helpful. I'll have to see what happens next though for Caesar. I'm waiting for him to, in particular, again, think more Panzer Grenadiers would be a good addition here for him. We'll see what he does here. Meanwhile, Angreifen slowly pushing towards the carve point, but does seemingly spot Caesar's men moving in and decides perhaps he can be elsewhere. But there's less Germans about. More Pioneers here for Caesar. I think that's a great addition here to help repair his armor faster. Though, of course, getting some Stukes afterwards would be nice. Mechanized Armored Company just waiting, I think, for the order to go for some armor. He goes for a field gun. He's clearly, again, concerned about enemy armor. I think it's close enough to the T-35 there to just go for that one instead of to go for the field gun. But I digress. Still, much better situation. We've got mines, we've got sandbags. He's taking advantage of Caesar's downtime here back at the base, where he's not doing much with his infantry either. To quickly lay down sandbags here and mines. Sharp play there by Angreifen, and I think definitely highlights again that Caesar needs to get a bit more active. Like, if he's not going to attack here, he can still exert pressure in the south, for example. So I feel like in this regard, Caesar is definitely tactically making a bit of an error there. And he still needs to fix up his mortar half track. Tier 4 here for Caesar. Could be the Heavy Panzer Corps, or could be a Tiger Tank. It's tough to say which of these two here that is that Caesar's contemplating, but under current circumstances, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of either, because you can see there, Angreifen is quickly taking advantage of any downtime. He just chucked down a ton of mines here. I think, again, that makes this Tier 4 stall, in particular for Caesar, much more perilous. Even with a mortar half-track bombarding here, Angreifen's positions. Panzer 4 lining up here. Division 6 moving up here for Angreifen. Troops things south at sea. Again, plenty of mines here from Angreifen. Panzer moving straight ahead. They're killing Dimitri. Machine sitting up here as well. Good hit from Division 6-7. Oh, it's right to the field gun, never mind me. Division 6 acting in south position. Eventually 2 they're achieved. And we got both the field gun and the assault gun bombarding here Caesar's machine gun. Looking to snuff it up. More top by finding out being prepared. Thumbs up there. Panther looking to go for the Division 6M. And there we go. Good shot there on the assault gun. But we got counter right around the corner with an anti-tank grenade. Pushing back there Caesar's Panzer. Pack 40 setting up here as well. Half-tank falling back there. Eventually 2 now achieved. Grenades being forced. But again, the mines are really just removing a lot of the momentum here from Caesar's assault. He still also needs more infantry, I feel like. And he has gone for some minesweepers now, at least. Thumbs up, sort of. Back here, troop reinforcing healing. It's hard to say if he's playing the Heavy Panzer Corps, if he's playing the Tiger, it's planning the Tiger Tank here. In the south, contrast with the MD-42 routing in the Pioneers, and we do get the T-3045 here for Angreifen, and that's definitely going to complicate the situation for Caesar further. Mortar after they're very, very close to a T2. There we go. Eventually 2 achieved. Increasing its rate of fire. Go. Boris and Vasily there, splattered across the ground. Counter-routed with MD-42. T-3045 almost done here. Here's the Grenadiers, routed here. T-3045 almost done here. Falling in at this mighty Stalinist beast here. Called the T-34-85 because of its 85mm gun. Fact. After they're firing away there at the advancing Panzer Grenadier, coming northwards here. Looks like Caesar's getting a bit more active again. After being pushed back here in the south, victory point claimed there for the Red Army. Good work by Angreifen. Heavy Panzer Corps, so it does look like he's not going to go for the Tiger Tank, more likely a Panther here. Or a Sturm Panzer, but I think with the T-3035 about there, he is more likely to try for the Panther. But I could be wrong. It's always the exciting part to figure out, isn't it? Guards advancing here for Angreifen though. In the west side here, T-3035, they're pushing back here. Caesar's Grenadiers. MD-42, they're catching the guards out in the open. Hammering away there with the large volume of rounds. There we go. Assault gun bombarding here. Caesar's machine gun crew there. Excellent work there. And almost wipes it out. Forcing there Caesar to pull back the machine gun crew. More after than reserve. Definitely a bit of a deadly dance here between Caesar and Angreifen. In north of the Panther on the mortar half track. South here we got the engineers saying south as they're going for the southern point there. Panther moving up here through Deutschland. Troops reinforcing healing here for Caesar. Sandbags almost down the center here for Angreifen and the Red Army. Isn't south, mine spotted, but ignored. Fun fact, by the way, if you spot a mine, you can actually have a Pioneer squad even without the mine, so we could actually sweep it. Fun fact. Up north here, the Panther, the T-35 being pushed back as the field gun, of course, Johnson quick as well, but the Pack 40 is also joining in, so the T-35. In fact, almost got it, and almost got the shed too. Jürgen, do you think to give out badges for knocking out sheds? 9. Oh, they never do that. Why would they? Participation? We don't have participation trophies in war, well, except the ones we do. Anyways, comes the Gandisi, Pack 40 moving up. South here, Pioneer's being flanked by the Guardsman. Caesar definitely getting a lot more aggressive, and he's upgraded the Panthers with the Panzerschrecks. Definitely gives him more mobility in terms of like aggressive anti-tank firepower, for sure. And I'm not opposed to them, but I think you should have gone for another Panzergrenadier escort to equip them, rather than equipping a, you know, otherwise veteran Panzergrenadier escort, which performed well versus the infantry. So I feel like that's the part here I'm not a fan of. I know some people are not a big fan of anti-tank Panzergrenadiers, and again, I can understand that to a degree, but I still think they're quite good under the right circumstances, the right hands. I just don't think you should upgrade a veteran squad like that unless you're truly desperate. And I don't think there's enough there for Caesar to be truly desperate about that, personally. But that's just me. More tough that keeps flying away, though this time there's not quite landing the hit it desires against the advancing tide of Guardsmen here from Angreifen and the Red Army. Briefly considered something there, but decided against it. He's going for a sniper. Fair enough. Again, I would definitely recommend just another Panzergrenadier squad to make up for the one he upgraded with Panzerschrecks. Personally, well, not entirely sure what he's planning here, though, because otherwise he could cancel the sniper and then go for a Panther soon, which I guess is what he wanted to go for with it, or is he now going to go for the Tiger anyways, at which point, why did he then build the heavy Panzer core? I mean, I guess it could be for slightly cheaper reinforcements and stuff, but like, the thing is, that bonus is so small and negligible that like, you need to reinforce a lot for that to become like, you know, worthwhile. It's just such a tiny bonus for this all-out war thing there. It just, a lot of the time, it's not going to matter, to be honest. I think, in part because it doesn't even apply to the Panzer. Holy smokes! Cleared out the half-track with the units inside. Crikey. That's unlucky there for Angreifen. Was that an anti-aircraft crew actually managed to upgrade it with? Either way, though, it's gone. It's gone, Dimitri. Also got a Panzerschreck here dropped. And grab with the Grenadiers or the Pioneers. I'm going to be pushed back here as Caesar moves forwards again here for the glorious German army. Got the Guardsmen, the Pioneers pushing them back here. Panther unit repairs. But it does look like Caesar is going to go... Oh, there we go. Another mine goes off here. Again, just these mines are paying off large dividends for Angreifen. I guess he's going to go for the Tiger tank after all. At which point the heavy Panzer Corps just... He might as well not bother with it. But I guess he thought he needed it for the Tiger tank. But the Tiger tank is the only of the heavy call-in units that doesn't actually require like a late-game tier 4 building or whatever tier 3 building for being able to call in. That you just need to research, you know, the third battle phase. You can actually just call it in. So, fun fact there if you're not aware. Fun fact. Quite the match. If you get a Katyusha there for Angreifen. Definitely not your average match. Just so many interesting turns here between Angreifen and Caesars. They both, as I think, you know, rapidly adapted. But I think also crucially just a lot less dependent on just the typical, you know, meta game in that sense. And that always, I find, makes for more interesting matches. As you in that sense can sort of get to see more of the actual player skill level as they leave, shall we say, any comfort zones behind them. Instantly appears around to be alternate thing to pop there. Panzerschreck shoots, whiffs. Field guns backing up here. Very close to the ace level on the mortar effect though. Pretty good there for Caesar. Yes, closing on that Tiger tank though, DT-Tiger. And for flanking, need to get the mortar after out there before that gets turned into scrap metal. Panzerschreck Pioneer moving forwards here. Good shot on the T-35. Got the mortar. There's actually a bit of a nasty blow there. 2 Caesar, great kill for Angreifen. Removes a significant artillery threat to his forces here. And there we go, the Tiger tank has right for Caesar. Now we've got the Cruiser Strike here on the Pack 40, looking to remove one of Caesar's best anti-tank assets. And there you go, the crew is gone. And with that, the 3 levels of veterancy, which is definitely like, you know, the harshest loss here, because while he can recruit the Pack 40 in theory, he cannot easily replace that veterancy fee there, which really means that Pack 40 just loses a lot of rate of fire and penetration. That's a great kill there for Angreifen. That removes a huge thorn in his side. We do have the Tiger tank up, but again, he's got 2 guard squads, 2 field guns, and marked vehicle on top of the HN6 and the T-45, meaning that Tiger tank is not in a great spot. There you go. Buttoning up, marking it here. Field gun's firing away there. Assault gun moving as well there. Guardsman all swiped out. Great shot from the HN6M on the Tiger. Guardsman white. Good kill there. We also got Victor on the Panda 4. Looks like we might just get a massive engagement between Caesar and Angreifen. Panda 4 flanked the assault gun. Field is moving up as well. He could cost on the Panda 4. In fact, here. Shots bounced. Panther 6 opening up there. Did equip them more Panther 6 in the end. Panda 4 down. Leaving Caesar now with just the Tiger tank. And some infantry here. But he's about to lose infantry squads in the face of Angreifen's forces here. Tiger tank moving forwards again. HN6 shoots. Bounces there. Field gun bounces. Second one bounces. Assault gun does not. Almost got the Tiger tank here. Can he finish off with the assault gun? Yes, he took out the Tiger tank with an HN6M. And with that, I think Caesar may just be dead in the water here against Angreifen. His forces are in ruins, in tatters. And Angreifen stands, well, largely victorious on the battlefield at this point. Almost got the sniper too. Yeah, I think he's actually left the game. We're just waiting for the game to react to see something left here. You know, the troops just like, did you hear anyone leaves the headquarters in a hurry? Maybe? So there you go. GG game over here. Again, my apologies for the sniper there with the other episode today. Just sometimes things just don't go my way. I apologize. But yeah, otherwise I think we still managed to get up a pretty exciting match here. Again, a bit shorter than intended, but this allowed to just record an episode fast and get it up faster. So bear with me. I still think it was a really exciting match. It was some really exciting gameplay between Caesar and Angreifen. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell a family. But don't try on knees. This is Pro Links and cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.